What is that?
The oh-so-popular role-playing game is out of the dungeon and onto the big screen as of today. Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is in theaters, starring Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez, and you can see it, as I mentioned, as of today. Eli's here. And I'm just wanting to forewarn you that there are some die-hard D&D fans on our morning news team, and they're going to be hanging on your every word.
They have rolled the dice many times. Well, let me tell them and tell you and tell everyone, we are fully in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons with this film. We are talking medieval times with extra magic on the side. We got castles, we got dragons, we got witches, all of that and more. And this is where we find spy turned bard Edgin, played by Chris Pine. You know him, you love him. Now he and his band of scoundrels, well, they kind of made a mess of things. Take a look.
Be told, we helped the wrong person steal the wrong thing. We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known. But we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off?
So he might not know the answer just yet, but I do know the key to any good D&D campaign is the balance around the table, right? You can't all be wizards or warriors. You need a nice kind of mix of talents. And the same goes when you're assembling your medieval A-team, your crew that's going to save the day. You need the right kind of mixture of brains and brawn. And here the bard has an idea of the kind of balance he wants. Let's take a look.
They give us a fighting chance. We're gonna need strength. You got this, right?
I know you don't.
We also need courage, magic, and you. What is that again? It's an owl bear.
Yeah, it's an owl bear. It's an owl and a bear. And that's, you don't get in front of it.
No.
Because it's apparently ferocious. Let's break down the rest of the team. For the brains, on a good day, we have, as I said, Chris Pine as the bard. For the brawn, Michelle Rodriguez. There she is as Holga, the barbarian. This time around, Michelle gets to flex her funny muscles as a woman who loves potatoes and mashing heads and little else. For wizards, we get the wonderfully awkward energy of Justice Smith. He is a wizard with some performance anxiety issues, and that owl bear we saw is actually Sophia Lillis as a shape-shifting druid. Now, why all the ruckus? You saw the scary woman with the scary-looking weapon. It turns out that Forge, a con man the bard used to roll with, well, he installed himself as the king, and since Holga and Edgin were locked up, the king convinced the bard's daughter that she was safer with him. Now, if you think this gentleman sounds like a devious ratbag, you would be correct. He is a deliciously conniving schemer played by the one and only Hugh Grant, who is just enjoying his villain era and having way too much fun. For extra firepower, we just saw her. The king is working with a red wizard, and all you need to know about her is that she's bald, she's evil, and she wants to turn us all into shuffling zombies. So that would be a bad thing.
All right, I've already been schooled this morning on D&D. It's not a board game. It's a role-playing game. I was thinking more snakes and ladders rather than Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, my gosh.
Guarantee.
But I can't be alone in all of this. How much do people need to know about D&D to really appreciate this film?
Heather, this is the #1 question I've been asked multiple times this week. Is like, do you need to know the game? Do you need to be a fan? No, you don't.
Okay.
If you just want like a less ponderous version of Lord of the Rings, if you just want fantasy with extra funny, this is that film. The director and writers are John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, so they have worked on some great projects, like remember Jason Bateman in Game Night. They were the screenwriters on Spider-Man Homecoming. So their specialty is taking a premise, following it to the logical conclusion, and really embracing the absurdity. Honor Among Thieves isn't about mocking D&D. It's an affectionate affectionate ribbing, so they leave space for the characters to roll their eyes. Now, if you are a hardcore player, this film is packed with creatures and Easter eggs. There are mimics. You will see a gelatinous cube. That might not mean anything to you or I, but there are players there with a gelatinous... I've been waiting to see a gelatinous cube on screen. But what makes it work are not the creatures, it's the characters, beginning with Chris Pine as the Bard, the man with the plan on a good day. Take a look.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so...
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
So you make plans that fail?
No.
He also plays the lute.
Not relevant.
There you go. We had to freeze. He's playing the lute, and the lute is actually very relevant because, in a way, this is Pine kind of going back to Captain Kirk mode, right? He's swashbuckling, he's the charming rogue, all of that, but he's not much of a fighter. He's not going to be, you know, giving anyone a knuckle sandwich. All he has is that surprisingly resilient lute, but that is what makes it so much fun. Now, like any good D&D campaign, there are side quests and diversions, there are magical helmets, there are chubby dragons, there are talking corpses. Regé-Jean Page, you might remember him from Bridgerton. He shows up as a paladin with kind of a Vulcan sense of humor, but the real magic are the characters because, yes, they're funny, but they all have real emotional stakes. So Pine's character, he made a choice that doomed his family, and that is what's driving him on. Even Holga, the barbarian, she has her own tragic backstory and an amazing cameo that the trailers actually haven't spoiled. So tune in for that. So,
well, we won't either.
No, I'm not going to touch it. I just want you to enjoy it. So whether you always roll 20s or have no idea what your health points are, this game of D&D is a blast. And I have a feeling it will be coming back for another round. 4 stars out of 5.
4 out of 5. I thought the gelatinous cube might put it maybe 4.5. 4's good, though. Eli liked it. Thank you. In theaters today. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.